Okay, just one more little extension of this. It says write each equation in standard form, which means what we need to do is we need to get it into an ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 form. So we're going to subtract 2n squared from both sides, and we get 5n squared plus 16n plus 15 equals 3. And now we have to subtract that 3 away as well, and we get 5n squared plus 16n plus 12 equals 0. That's the form we want it in. That is in standard form. Okay, the squared terms come first, then the n terms to the first power, and then the constant, and have it equal to 0. I'm going to write the work that I did to solve that. I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to move this up. So we'll need this space. So we've now got 5n squared plus 16n plus 12 equals 0, and we're going to factor. Okay, so first let's take the a value times the c value. A value is 5, c value is 12. 5 times 12 is 60. So we're going to factor 60, and what we're trying to result in is the number 16. That is the b term. So since the constant term here at the end is positive, we're going to have the same sign twice, and this will tell us that they're both going to be positive. We need two positive numbers, so when we list factors of 60, we can use positives. 1 times 60, 2 times 30. Remember, I'm looking for two that add up to 16, and so far those don't. 3 times 20, 4 times 15, 5 times 12, 6 times 10. Aha, 6 times 10 adds up to 16. That's what we want. So I'm going to get rid of everything else, and we're going to use that set of numbers. And recall, hopefully you recall, how do we use that set of numbers? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite the same thing again, except for the 16n term, we're going to break that apart into 6n, one of the numbers we just found, plus 10n, one of the other numbers we just found. And then plus 12, of course. Now we can group these in pairs, see what we can factor out. Okay, what can we factor out of 5n squared plus 6n? Just an n. And we're left with 5n plus 6. What can we factor out of 10n plus 12? Just a 2. We've got to put a plus there. Don't just not put a sign in front of that, because remember we need to keep those things separated by a sign. And what are we left with? We got a 5n, oops. We've got a 5n there, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. And we got 5n plus 6 in both places. That's great. So what we got is n plus 2. This factors to n plus 2 times 5n plus 6. Oops. Okay, so then how are we going to finish and solve this? What we're going to do is we're going to take each piece and we're going to say, let's take n plus 2 and set it equal to 0 and solve for it. N equals negative 2. That's one of the solutions. And let's take the other bit of it, 5n plus 6. That could have been the thing that was equal to 0. When we solve for that, we get 5n equals negative 6. Divide both sides by 5. And we get n is equal to negative 6 over 5, the other solution. All right, one more and we're done. So we need to set this whole thing equal to 0. So I would like to have my leading term be positive. So I'm going to subtract 3q squared here, because that way it's going to result in a remaining positive q squared plus 3q equals negative 4q plus 18. And then we say, okay, what do we do now? We add 4q, trying to get everything onto the left-hand side. And we get q squared plus 7q equals 18. And then subtract 18 from both sides. And we result in q squared plus 7q minus 18 equals 0. I'm going to move that to the top. I'm going to get rid of all of our work here. That just, hopefully you know algebraically how to juggle things around to get 0 on one side. Undo it all from one side. And let's write what we got as a result. We got q squared plus 7q minus 18 equals 0. And we'll just factor this. And since we got a leading coefficient of 1, it's 1q squared, not something else. Makes it easy. It's just q and q. And what do we get there? Well, we have negative 18 at the end, so we got to list out what we get for negative 18. We've got, let's see, 1 times negative 18. Nope, that's negative 17, or 17 if we switch the signs. 2 times negative 9. Oh, that adds up to negative 7. So we want a 7. We just want it to be a positive 7. So I'm going to switch the sign but keep those numbers like that. And that's going to be the pair that we want. Okay? So we then put q minus 2, q plus 9. That's how it factors out. And then we can set each one equal to 0. Q minus 2 could have been equal to 0, in which case q must be 2 for that to happen. And that's one choice, one answer. Or q plus 9 could have been the 0. Could have been equal to 0, in which case, subtracting 9 from both sides, we find out that q equaling negative 9 would result in that binomial turning to 0. So let's circle that one. Those are our solutions, and this set is done.